All right, I'm here in front of the Canton Car Museum. I came over from the McKinley Museum. It was worthwhile. It's McKinley Museum. I came from the tomb. Right next door was the McKinley Museum, and it was an interesting stop. Didn't think I was going to be able to get over here, but it's so close by. I thought, you know what, I just have to do it. So come along with me and enjoy. This is supposedly a smaller museum, but they have some unique things in here and also some pop culture things, I understand. So I hope you enjoy it as much as I do. So come along, we'll see how it goes. One of the things that makes this museum unique, is all the pop culture stuff they have in addition to the automobiles. Toys of the era, toys of the time. Just an eclectic collection of really neat things. This I particularly appreciate. These are hood ornaments from Packards, LaSalle's, Dodges, Chryslers, Willys, Franklins. Phenomenal. Duesenberg I see down there. And here we have a 1901 Oldsmobile. I love these old cars where you used a stick as opposed to a steering wheel. Now this is what I call a police car. Flying Squadron. Look at the grill work. I mean, it's just phenomenal. This museum, as I said before I came in, has a lot of the popular culture and well as addition to the automobiles at the time, which is kind of interesting. Rather than just having automobiles in their pristine condition and whatnot, this gives you the automobile and then gives you a little glimpse of society around it, some of the culture, clothing, stuff, art, what was going on. So it's unique in that regard and very interesting. Here's a 1932 Lincoln. So you can see it's got a metal chassis, and the bodywork on the other hand is pretty much wooden. Reinforced in some areas by metal. Who knew? Now here we have something I have not seen in any other museum. This is a Stutz mobile. 1932. It was an inline 8. I guess it was souped up by one of the manufacturers of the day, and it was also considered a pretty good car, as you can see. And right beside it, as I said, it's always part of the culture. This is a baby's pram. I'm not too sure whether it was real or not. It may be, or it may be for children. And there we have the hobby horse. I'd recognize that hood ornament anywhere. That's a Packard. This is a 1937 example. Super 8. And it's decked out here. Looks like it carries flowers, probably to a funeral or to the cemetery. Here we have another Packard. Notice the hood ornament is different, although this is identified as a 1937. I've seen that hood ornament before. And this specimen, along with that funeral theme we had, this is a hearse. Here we have another 1957 Cadillac Coupe. According to the information on the placard here about the Cadillac mark, about the brand, it's one of the oldest remaining automobile brands in the world. Did not realize that. Buick is another, which is interesting in that they're both GM models. And a 1960 Bonneville convertible Pontiac. And you knew you arrived if you had a car like that. When I was a student in Germany, just as a side story, it's cars like these that Germans referred to American automobiles as Schlitten, and Schlitten means sled in German, and of course they were disparaging the size. I think they were just jealous because most of these wouldn't fit on some of the old German streets. Here's a 1959 Metropolitan. My neighbor across the street as a kid owned a American Motors dealership, and he and some of his family, some of his kids, older kids of course, they were a good deal older than I was, and they got to drive these. I used to think it was the neatest car in the world. Still do. And this is one of those ideas that just really wasn't a very good one. 1962 Amphibicar, and you probably all have seen short clips, TV clips of this just going right off the road down the boat launch and right into the water. It wasn't a very good boat, and certainly wasn't a very good automobile rear drive. And what would the 60s be without the muscle car and the iconic muscle car? Here's another Canton special. This is a Holmes, a 2019, almost said 2000. It's in 1922. It is a model that was built here in Canton by the Holmes Automobile Manufacturing Company. I hope you can see that. The vice president of this company used to work for Franklin in Syracuse, New York, and there they were, I guess, the folks who were working on water-cooled engines as opposed to air-cooled engines. And he brought that technology with him and incorporated it into the Holmes automobiles that were made, I don't think, very long. The placard here says from 1918 to 1923, so only a couple of years. Another Stutz. These cars are just real rare. You don't see them much even in the larger museums. This is a 1928 model BB. And right across the aisle is a Lincoln from 1936. And it's a V12. And here you go, guys, a 1938 Cadillac. Gorgeous, gorgeous, gorgeous machine. And one of my favorite machines is a Chrysler Custom Imperial. That car is gorgeous as well. Back to the Landau convertible roof. What a beauty. Look at the grille on this Packard Super 8. Yikes. And in 1932, a Cadillac Imperial limousine. Now that's confusing, isn't it? Cadillac, and I guess Imperial just meant it was top of the line. It was a V16. Take a look at those air intakes on the side. A V16. Wow. All right, again, unique to this museum as far as I know, this is a 1931 Marmon. Never heard of it. And of course, then how would I know that a Marmon was the winning car at the first Indianapolis 500? The Marmon, I'm told, according to the information here, was working on the first V16 engine, and as we just saw in the Cadillac, a Cadillac beat them to it. But this indeed looks like it's a V16. Okay, so I promise you, I honestly didn't know they had this many sleighs or Schlitten in this museum. Ironic, yes. Okay, here's an attempt at BMW to build a small economical car. Obviously, this didn't make it, I don't think it made it to the United States. But boy, they were everywhere in Europe back in the day. It's a three-wheel car. Two up front, one in the back. Did it tip? Yes, it did. And here is a Cord. I don't think even in the Gilmore Museum they had this. This is a 1937 Cord, 1812 supercharged Phaeton convertible. Look at those exhaust pipes coming out of the engine. It's gorgeous. Could not be more beautiful. Notice the hidden headlights. Okay, just came from the Canton Car Museum. Was unique. They did something that's well, I guess I said it's unique. So they did something that other car museums don't do, and that is their collection's not huge. They have some things in there I'd never seen before, namely the Hupmobile. And I'm not sure I saw a Cord before. I've heard of them, obviously, both Hupmobile and the Cord. Never seen one. What they do in this museum is they try to show you the car in its natural habitat. So it's kind of like they surround it with memorabilia from the time it was manufactured and driven. So it's a small museum, doesn't cost much to go through it. And boy, if you're in the area, I highly recommend. This is worth seeing. So hope you enjoyed the ride, and I'll see you next time. Bye-bye. As a side note, with this car museum, if you go online, which you probably would to take a look at what, directions and whatnot, don't overlook the fact that there is a little place that you can print a 15% off coupon. If you take that with you into the museum, it's already relatively inexpensive. I think for a regular adult, it's maybe $10. For a senior, I believe it was $6. And because I got the 15% discount, I paid $5.10. So you can't hardly beat that. As I said, I don't know that I'd make this a primary destination, but if you're anywhere in the area, as a matter of fact, I drove in from the Mansfield area, which is about an hour.